There's Hilton Tarrant. Hilton Talent. Let's try that again. Sunshine's on leave for 1 week a year. So Jeffrey's trying his skills behind the sound control desk there, but that's going to be the only little hitch we have. Here's Hilton Tarrant, though, with the business news headlines.
Well, the JSE bids to buy the bond exchange of South Africa. Simmer and Jack will slow projects on funding concerns. Credit Suisse says $50 billion worth of mining projects are at risk. And despite an economic slowdown, Shoprite maintains sales growth of 26% in the first quarter. The all share closed down 0.5% at 18,363. Gold currently at $726 a fine ounce. A barrel of Brent at 59. The rand is at 11.01 to the dollar, 17.04 to the pound, and the euro at 14.13.
Got to have it. Some people really need it.
Here's market watcher David Shapiro on a day when shares bounced and bounced aggressively. The all-share index closing less than 1% down, David, after being in very bad territory at one point.
Yeah, in fact, it was there's a few encouraging signs. You know, one doesn't want to get too carried away at the moment, but big buying of retail stocks. We saw Massmart, Mr. Price, JD Group all stronger. Some of the industrials were also picked up. Remgro, this new Renette, which is going to be British American Tobacco, that was stronger. Bidvest. So bargain hunters coming in. I think hopefully the selling, the downward momentum is going to burn itself out. But still, unfortunately, on the resource market, we're finding platinum's under pressure. Sasol, Mittal, all those related to the growth in the global economy under pressure. Financial steady.
The fear index, though, is at all-time high, still 58%, the savvy today. That's telling you that, yes, there might be bargain hunters around, but generally speaking, people very nervous.
Still very nervous. No one understands what's driving it down. You know, we've got no measures. We've got nothing to gauge how far this will go.
David, everyone understands what's driving it down. It's
selling.
International issues. Yeah.
It is international issues.
I did some numbers talking about selling. The JSE issues its weekly figures on a Monday. And in the past year, the foreigners have sold 40, this year compared with last year, okay, so you take January up to October, they have sold 41 billion rands, sold 68 billion rands worth of stock, and their purchases are down 41 billion. So there's a net negative
change
of 110 billion rand on shares on the JSE. And we're surprised that the JSE is down 40%.
No. I think that's the background. Where's it coming from?
More selling than buying.
There is a lot more selling, and the worries are, number one, of course, the global economy, but you're also having huge withdrawals from hedge funds, who were geared to an extent, so they're unwinding their positions, and they're forcing shares onto the market. They're not finessing the orders. So the drive for liquidity, in other words, the drive to get cash is very great, and that just makes people sell at any price.
Anyone buying now has to be.
You have to wait, Alec.
Very,
you can't.
very brave.
We can't read it. You can't read where support's going to come in. So you have to let this fire just burn itself out, run out of oxygen.
Just to put it in perspective, though, the S&P 500 index was at the moment it's got a trailing price earnings ratio. In other words, last year's earnings times 19. In the 1970s, when it was the last time that the market was under pressure, the last year's earnings was at 7. So American shares, theoretically at least, can fall by another 50% or 60% before they get back to 1970 levels. That is a scary fact.
It is, because also you're going to see what the market is saying as well, that earnings are now going to come out under pressure, under severe pressure, because of a slowdown in growth.
We haven't seen any profit warnings in South Africa yet.
Not
Are you expecting them?
I'm sure they're going to come. I'm sure on the mining companies they're going to start coming. Certainly on the banks we're going to start seeing much lower earnings. I think I'm watching very carefully for retailers. We had an incredible result out of Shoprite today, but it's too early. People are worrying now. This is the time that they start. This is the worrying time, Alec, because they start to fear now. And what happens is people get nervous about their wealth. They don't want to do anything. They start laying off people. They don't want to expand their businesses. So the fall in the stock market can actually also trigger an economic slump. And that's what we worry about, and that's what we fear about. And that's why you're seeing Trichet wanting to lower interest rates. That's why you want interest rates going down, that people are encouraged to come in and start spending and get the economy going upwards.